Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. This is going to be the TA, FA, and chart analysis for December 15th, 2021. We are mid-month. Today we get a little bit more bullish. Not so much on the chart because the chart was still waddling around here, and that's kind of the same as what we were doing back in May, before we dipped a couple thousand more points to our eventual bottom and then came straight up from there. So we're kind of like at the bottom part of the trough. I think we might have actually bottomed out, according to this graph. Now, according to the technical analysis, the oscillators on the daily are neutral, 40 for the RSI, 42 for the stochastic, negative 51 for the commodity channel index, 37 for the directional index, negative 6,000 for the awesome oscillator, pretty much unchanged overall. So everything is telling me that there's not much of a trend right now, and it's not going either way. However, on the moving averages, we have the 10-day SMA as a buy right now, but that's just because our price right now is above the 10-day SMA. We're getting pretty close to the 10-day EMA as well. So this could actually trigger a buy soon. And that's obviously because of the Fed announcements today, which we'll actually go over in the fundamental analysis section. Now, the simple moving average is going to be below the current price right now, so that's a buy. But the exponential moving average, we're still about 1,000 points below the EMA for the 200, and that's a pretty critical mark. The 20, 30, 50, and 100 are all negative, so overall, it's still a pretty strong sell in terms of the daily indicators. So I think if we get a move above 52, a lot of these will actually turn into buy. So right now, 50,000 is one factor that we want to close above at, because that'll take us above the 200 EMA in terms of the technicals. And 52,000 will actually probably make it a buy on both the 10 and the 20. 54,000 would probably make it a buy on the 10, 20, and 30. So basically 50,000 is one level, 52 and 54,000 are the three levels we're actually looking at on the daily. On the weekly graph, everything is neutral on the oscillators. Nothing really has changed there. But now we get a little bit of a change from yesterday. Both the 10, 20 and part of the 30 is sell. This SMA for the 30 is a buy right now. And I think the EMA for the 30 week will soon be a buy if we keep going up. We're pretty close to the EMA for the 30, and that will basically change things overall to a buy. But like I said, I don't really look at the 30. I only look at the 10 and the 20, because maybe 10, 20, and 30, because 30 is already more than half a year. And I think that's a little too long to actually consider. So right now, I would actually say this is a sell and not a buy, because the 10 and the 20 are both negative, and 30, you're looking a little bit too far back. And if we have 6-month cycles, we could already be out of that 6-month cycle if we have the shorter cycles, and that theory holds true. So I would still rate the weekly on a sell and not a buy. On the 1 month, obviously, we're still bullish. The only thing I really look at is the 10 for the EMA and the SMA, and the SMA and the EMA are both buys right now. So longer month, definitely still bullish, and I do agree with that. I think in January, we will actually go up. Now, today we have to talk about the fundamentals of the market, because that's going to be very, very important for today. So important announcement today is the Fed said they will double the speed of their tapering, which shouldn't really affect crypto at all, because they weren't really buying crypto with the money anyways. They were buying bonds and stocks, not crypto. That might have been a psychological effect, but physically there's no effect on crypto with the tapering. And it doesn't look like the stock market's reacted either. They didn't really care about Fed tapering. The key is they said they would keep interest rates at 0% to 0.25%. That is the key right there. If they were going to raise interest rates significantly, the market would have tanked. But since they said they were going to keep the rates at 0 to 0.25, and I didn't really think they could raise them that much, because we are still in this COVID thing. And because we're still in this COVID thing, they couldn't tighten the money supply too much. I'd be very surprised if, in the 2 or 3 years, the rate was above 2%. They will start raising it next year, most likely, because they have to start raising their interest rate sometime. They can't keep it at 0 forever. They kept it pretty much at 0 all the way through the last administration. That was probably a mistake. That was short-term gains for long-term losses. I don't think Biden's going to exert the same pressure on the Fed as Trump did to keep the interest rates at 0, but they'll actually look at the situational analysis with the COVID virus and everything and see where they actually want to put the interest rates. But the fact that they didn't want to raise the interest rates right now is very, very bullish for today's market, in my opinion. And because of that, I do actually think Bitcoin will actually go up in the time to come. I am actually bullish now for the last half of December. Usually I'm not too bullish in the last half of the month because of futures expiries and all that. But this time I am bullish because I think that Fed announcement might actually trigger a mini bull run this weekend. And we could go above 50 and 52,000 just by that statement alone. I think people were dreading the Fed actually increasing interest rates and therefore tightening their money supply. Since they didn't do it, I do expect both the stock market and the crypto market to actually go up. So the Fed announcement has a lot to do with it. They probably won't meet for like a couple of months. And I think we can breathe a sigh of relief that they didn't want to raise interest rates by all that much. So I'm actually bullish for the rest of the month and bullish going into January and February. A lot of the Coinbase news with them, like with the NFTs and Kevin Durant, that's just more like... That's really just more like mainstream adoption, which is always good, but we don't really have too much from Janet Yellen in the regulatory front right now. We don't have much for the SEC in the regulatory front right now. So essentially, we don't really have much news besides the Fed thing, but the Fed thing was really huge this morning. So that's why I'm actually bullish. And I do think there's a good chance we'll end the year past 50,000, possibly even close to 60,000. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys later.